Hey guys, so we are both fully aware that Champions League football is on at this time. This was basically the only time that both of us could do. I'm an hour ahead, which makes it a little bit more difficult to coordinate as well. So we're basically going to be doing this knowing that really not many people are going to be watching while the games are on, but in the hopes that you will watch this after the games because a lot of the things are just going to be topical and not necessarily at this moment in time. So you can kind of come back to this video. But I'm joined by Adam. We kind of do this like maybe once a month once the season gets going. So Adam, how are you doing? Thanks so much for joining, especially while the football's on.
Yeah, it's a pleasure as always, Elizabeth. No problem at all coming on. I'm still recovering from last night, so to be honest, I've sort of I've hid away from some of the football because I don't want to see other teams doing well because it makes me even more angry after what happened to us last night. So it's no problem for me. Scores will flash up as we go along, but yeah, it's good to be on. And since, like you said, then since last time we've got loads to talk through, and loads has changed, hasn't it?
I know it really has. And Jonathan said, I love these two together. We need this more than once a month. Thank you so much, Jonathan.
Yeah.
We'll try to see what we can do. We'll try to see what we can do. So I wanted to ask you, about a lot of things, but since you mentioned it, we can just start with the Champions League getting it started. I was at climbing class, so I didn't get to watch the United game, and I came back and saw that you guys lost, and I was just really surprised. So I
Mm.
didn't get to see what went down. I hope it's not too painful, but if you can just explain to those of us like myself who didn't get a chance to watch the game, kind of like the main talking points. I saw there was a Wan Bissaka red card. Do you think it was a red? What happened there?
Yeah, it was definitely a red card because I've done a refereeing course this summer actually. So I know the sorts of ins and outs and the talks and what the new rules are and what a challenge, especially in European football, what is going to be deemed a red card. And he was out of control. He did go over the top of the ball and straight away. We know it. They don't need pushing to get a red card out of the pockets in the Champions League. We know that, Elizabeth. We've seen it many a times, but we all know the rules. No one was complaining. There's a few questions asked. Red card. See you later. It was really down to Wan Bissaka not being in control of the ball, so it was his own fault. And this has been coming, Elizabeth, quite a bit with Wan Bissaka now. He's one player who I feel that is sort of more of a weak link in our team now. Whereas it'd be crazy to say that a couple of years ago when he first joined, he has not really adapted and got better. He sort of stagnated, and now we're seeing issues. He's controlling the ball. He never looks in control of the ball. He never looks comfortable going forward. And coincidentally, this was in the other half of the pitch where he lost control of the ball again. Artificial pitch, yes, and it was difficult for a lot of our players. I will say that. No excuse still, but he lost control of it. It was a red card. The problem United fans had with last night, Elizabeth, was the fact that if, for instance, and I'll use Chelsea as an example, when James got sent off against Liverpool at Anfield a couple of weeks ago, Chelsea still were in the game. Chelsea still caused Liverpool problems and still passed and had a game plan. When we went down to 10 men after 35 minutes, it was white flag up, everyone behind the ball. We are going to be up against it here. And we're playing a team that had to qualify through Slovakia, Romania, and Hungary to even get to this stage, who are managed by a manager who used to manage Huddersfield, one of the worst records in Premier League history, with 9 debutants for the Champions League in their team last night that cost less than 10 million compared to United's $500 million that was on the pitch. And we decided that we had to go backs to the wall and defend for nigh on 2/3 of the game. And that's where United fans had an issue. That's where I had an issue. I was like, you got aspirations to challenge for any major trophy this season, and probably just watch how a Liverpool, Chelsea, or City would handle that same situation. And I guarantee it wouldn't be the way that we did it. We were just inviting them on. And his substitutions in the second half, Elizabeth, it was hard to defend him. It was very hard to defend him because he brought Ronaldo and Bruno off at the same time, playing with 5 at the back. The fact that he had Lindelof on instead of Varane in the first place was criminal. And then right at the end, with 1 minute to go, he decides he'd already brought Lingard on for Ronaldo, but with 1 minute to go, 89th minute, he decides to bring Martial on for Fred and then drop Lingard back into Fred's position, who is no use there at all. Why you bring a defensive player off when your back's to the wall, I do not know, even though Fred is crap, but he's still better than Lingard defensively. And in that position that Lingard went to, he was the one who played the ball back weak to the goalkeeper and gifted young boys the game, and ultimately settles off to an horrendous start and has heaped pressure onto Ole Gunnar Solskjaer now, because all any United fan was doing was questioning his tactics and his in-game management. I had 500 comments on my match vlog, and 99% of them were in on Ole. That's how bad the fan base. Yeah, they were going in on Ole as to complaining. Yeah, not Ole in, but they were going in on him, complaining about his tactics.
English as a first language, but that's like an American English thing.
Yeah, that's the one crossover there for you. But that basically explains the night. It was a very, very disgruntled, very angry United fan base last night. It really was. I did 3 videos alone, no 4, sorry, last night alone. And it was the same on every single one. It was one of, don't tell me I'm overreacting, because we've seen this before and it's a common occurrence. He has to start learning, Elizabeth. Otherwise, the knives are going to be out even more for him.
Yeah. Like, this was a must-win game, I think, for you guys. I think that this was the probably easiest team in your group. So now I still think that you'll qualify, but yeah, I can totally understand your frustration. Something similar happened to Chelsea last season. I think it was against West Brom that Thiago Silva got a red card and the team just self-capitulated. So we totally can understand where you're coming from. But as soon as Wan Bissaka got that red card, did you think that it was game over, or did you feel that Ole might have a game plan? Maybe you guys could see it out. Because if I'm not wrong, you guys were 1-0 up at the time of the red card.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I can see Big Ron there. He's our subscriber to my channel in the comments there. Ron, I need to really give you a bit of a telling off, mate. You seriously cannot be hiding behind them comments about Ole not kicking that back pass. Why would you bring Lingard on in the first place? That's the problem. You're the one who brought Fred off for Lingard and left him in that position. And what was the point in bringing Martial on with 1 minute to go and changing everything up? He doesn't have courage in his convictions. That's the problem, Elizabeth. If he was going defensive, you bring Ronaldo and Bruno off at half time. You have Bruno and Ronaldo on the pitch there. Ronaldo isn't going to press. And I can understand the argument, because while Ronaldo was on the pitch, young boys left 3 players up front just to make sure that he was looked after. When Ronaldo came off, that released a couple of them players. So I see the argument, and they brought more players forward, because Jesse Lingard is not Ronaldo. Let's be honest. But if, as a manager, you're going to go half-hearted with how you're defending and going out, if he was to say, Elizabeth, going, I'm all out defence, he brings Matic on early, he takes Ronaldo and Bruno off, because we're not going to be able to provide them with anything, and has the courage of his convictions and goes for it full bore, then you probably won't get as much arguing. But the fact that he didn't have the right players in the right position from the start of the second half is another big problem. And I think now he sort of made it hard for himself, because everyone now is looking at Sunday and a big reaction and a big game against West Ham. And I don't think there's a lot of United fans who will accept going out in the Champions League again, especially with the quality of this group, Elizabeth. I think assuaged from your original question there, I was a little bit distracted, but I think that pretty much covers it.
So something that I felt last season was that against the teams in the Big Six, Ole didn't really seem to have as much of a game plan. I felt that you guys were super dominant against teams mid-table or lower end of the table, but against the top 6, I just felt that you played it safe. and we're maybe going for a draw. So did you kind of feel that that's what was going, that was kind of like the game plan after the red card? And do you think that he's the manager, that he's a person to kind of take you far into the Champions League competition, into the Premier League? Because I think we can probably agree that there's a difference between the likes of a Pep or a Tuchel or Klopp and an Ole tactically.
Massively, Elizabeth, massively. The difference is night and day. It is. I mean, I look at Chelsea, for instance, this season, and I'll go Chelsea. I don't think you guys have played well yet. I don't think you've played well yet, performed well in a game, but you know the script and you know that Tuchel has got them players drilled that if it's not quite there, they still know what they're doing and they're getting the wins, well, not looking fantastic. Do you know what I mean? So you know there's room to grow with Chelsea. United, you could argue, at home, we have been similar. We've not been great and we've scored 9 goals in 2 league games at home. So you could argue that's United. But away from home, Elizabeth, if he goes into that defensive mode that you were saying and that safe mode about the top 6 that you were saying now, I said this season, I said, look, okay, I can't really judge it yet. I'll judge it when we start playing. When October time comes, when we start to get some tougher games, and then we'll see what he's made of. If he hasn't learned from last season, then the alarm bells are going to start ringing. They really are, because it's easy to figure Ollie out. It was a challenge after the first season when Ollie came in for the other managers around him, because he did have a good record against them then. But you could see straight away last season how them teams learned and then counteracted it again. And we struggled last season to even score a goal against anyone in the top 6, let alone win a game. Yeah. So for me, it's all going to come down to them big games that you said. And is he going to be the uber defensive manager with an attacking team? Can he make this team play to its strength, which is in attack? We don't know, and we're all waiting to see. I do think we will know by the time October, November comes, Elizabeth, where this season is going for United. I think that's the key time, because that then would be when we've started to play the likes of City and Chelsea. And obviously that top 4, I think, is where it's going to be now. It's just the lineup of that top 4 that's no one really can say is how it's going to finish at the moment.
Yeah, I'm just taking a look at your fixtures now, just in the Premier League. You play West Ham, Aston Villa, Everton, Leicester, Liverpool, Tottenham, City, Watford, Chelsea. So really, from the end of November, you have really, really difficult fixtures. So I think we're going to get an idea if you guys are still in the top 4, how you perform. I want to kind of pivot, because this stream is kind of, or at least the thumbnail, the title is kind of focused towards the 2 major signings that Chelsea and United have made this summer, being Romelu Lukaku and Cristiano Ronaldo. They kind of went head to head with each other in the Italian league. The name is Serie A. Now they're going to go head to head against each other in the Premier League. So knowing that you guys have signed Ronaldo, do you think that improves your chances of winning games? Maybe if you have a game that there is a low block that maybe you can't break down, maybe last season that game was a loss or it was a draw. Do you think that Ronaldo is the difference maker to turn those losses and draws into wins for United?
Yeah, because with Ronaldo, if he gives us that option, and this is down again, I don't want to keep bringing it up, but it comes down to tactics and our game plan again. Ronaldo, I've never seen a better header of the ball in a forward than Cristiano Ronaldo. And he gives us that option where at the end of the game, you know what, we can start to cross the ball. If we've got good delivery of the ball, Ronaldo will make a difference, because his movement, and he's not going to run up and down the line. He's not going to press the ball. He's not going to win it back for you. But if you're putting the ball in the box, you know that you have to be aware, because Cristiano Ronaldo in the air is as lethal as he is on the floor. And we've seen that with his goals. We've seen what he did to Ireland when he wasn't even in the game. He scored 2 with his head against some of the biggest defenders that you can put on the planet. It doesn't matter who he's up against. If the delivery's right, Ronaldo makes a difference. We've seen with the goal against Newcastle, no one else was reading that shot from Greenwood. Ronaldo told himself that keeper was going to spill the ball, and he was the only one alive to it. There wasn't another player on the pitch, and that's the difference. He will score 30 goals in a season, and we haven't had that in a very long time. And you know what? Every United fan's hope is that he rubs off on everyone else in the team and the young players in the squad. That's what we all hope. It's just, for me, a case of how we utilise him properly. We have to have a game plan if we're putting Ronaldo in the team to say, look, we have to play this way because Ronaldo isn't going to give us that, but he will give us this. And will Ole and the likes of Carrick, McKenna be able to do that and figure that out? Again, that comes down to the big games, because Ronaldo's ultimate test is against the likes of you, Chelsea, City, Liverpool. When we start playing the big teams and like the Van Dijks come out, and then you've got the Silvers at Chelsea, the real defenders, the proper defenders who know how to defend on the highest level. This is when Ronaldo's going to be tested, and this is when United's game plan and tactics will be really put to the test. He will score, and I do think he'll score. He'll be our leading goal scorer. I think he will actually be the leading goal scorer in the league. That's how confident I am about him scoring goals, because one thing he does is score goals. And even when he's crap, you just know all strikers, when they're crap and they still score goals, are proper strikers. And that's what Ronaldo is. You could say Lukaku is, in a way, now. Now he's adapted his games since leaving United. He's very, very similar. That chance comes that usually goes in the back of the net. And that's what we've got. It is still all coming down to, though, and it's early days. I reckon just before Christmas, the end of autumn, I think that's when we will know, as United fans, how we're going to perform and where we're going to finish in the league. I think it's going to be obvious for us. But I do feel like Ronaldo will make a difference. I feel like Ronaldo will bring the trophy to United this season. And that is what every United fan is asking for right now. It's got to be a trophy this season. Otherwise, all his head is on the block.
Right. I just want to get to, I have like so many questions in my head, but I do want to get to some comments as well. Big Round has said Chelsea had 2 shots on target yesterday, same as United. They need to evolve their style of play to feed Ronaldo and Lukaku. Chelsea did not play well yesterday. I felt that we never got out of second gear. It was a pretty boring match. And we struggle against a low block. I think it was partly that a lot of players were rested. It was kind of like a disjointed team, but still those players, you expect more, and we could not create. We just couldn't get that final pass. But the difference between this season and last season is this season we have the likes of Lukaku, or for United they have the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo. They don't need chances. Lukaku had like a half chance and somehow put it into the back of the net. And I'm sure that Ronaldo does the same for United. So I think that that's going to be a major battle this season as well. But I can't talk. It's too late, you guys. Miko says, what tactics did Ole have? FO mates.
Well, that's what a lot of fans are saying. It's not so much, we have to sort of judge every game, but it's like watch what Big Von said about Chelsea there, Elizabeth. It's like, you guys won the Champions League last season, so we know what they're about. We know that there's something to come. Ollie's won nothing. Ollie's got no pedigree at all.
I feel like he's been there many years. Well,
this team and a lot of these players have shown nothing for a very long time. A lot of the players that have won something in this team is what they've won elsewhere before they've come to United. The likes of Matic, Mata even, obviously Ronaldo, Varane, Sancho, all these players have won things, but not at United. So Chelsea only having 2 shots on target, I guarantee, is not as big a worry for a Chelsea fan as it is a United fan. Because we had 2 shots on target, and our last shot on target, Elizabeth, was in the 30th minute. And that was it.
Yeah.
And that showed you exactly how we set up when we went down. We raised the white flag as soon as we went down to 10 men. And that's unforgivable against a team like Young Boys, no disrespect. That is unforgivable because I know for a fact none of the other big teams in European football would have done what we did last night. So why did we have to do it? And it just shows you and kind of says that we don't have a plan B. And it is our best team, and that's the only tactic we've got when we've got our best 11 out. That's all we've got. When something goes wrong, it's no coincidence we've never won a game under Ollie when we've gone down to 10 men. We always lose every single one. There's just not enough there convincing us at the moment. We need to see something else.
Do you think that that's down to Ole or down to the players' mentality, or maybe both? That for whatever reason, when you go down to 10 men, that you can't hold on to a lead, or you lose, or you can't get back into the game, and it just goes automatically to, all right, well, we're 1 man down, so why try?
Mentality. There is a mentality problem, but they say a team's reflection is of its manager. So the manager's sending them out to do a job. If we can't get a ball to our striker, then you can't really blame the striker, can you? You can't blame him. You can't. If there's no service, you can't blame him. We did make some stupid individual errors last night, which didn't help the cause at all. We didn't. I mean, Lingard's unforgivable. So's Wan Bissaka, like I said. Problem is, though, Elizabeth, if you go to a next game and them two players come straight back in, it's like no one's being punished for stupid individual errors that have cost the team. And sometimes you look at an average performance in Fred and he comes in straight away the next week. Why is he not being dropped when he's played so bad this season? He starts every single game. And then you look around at other players. One of your viewers there just asked about Donny.
Yeah, I was literally just about to transition to that. You read my mind.
It's like, what does he have to do? How is Donny's mentality looking at Fred play shocking every week? And then he gets picked every week still. Do you know what I mean? And then you look at the mentality and why is there a problem? Why can't we have consistency? Because if you're playing in that squad, Elizabeth, where is your head at? Knowing that it doesn't matter what you do when you play, when a big game comes around, you're not going to get picked by Ollie. He's going to go back to his tried and trust. Well, it's not trusted. I don't know how he thinks they're good enough to play, but that's why we all say he's got his favourites, and that's a word that gets brandished around a lot in the United fan base. It's like, seriously, how is Fred getting in this team? How have we not got past this? We got some good players to come back in yet, and he's got a massive problem on his hands in balancing all these big players now, because these guys, they're not here just to finish off the careers. The likes of Varane, Cavani, Ronaldo. These players are here to win. So he has to balance it out. We've still got Rashford and Cavani to come back into this team yet. Martial can't get a game. All of a sudden, Lingard's gone ahead of Martial. And Lingard's not played a game for us for a year. So It's hard to figure out what's going on in the manager's mind and where he gets this sort of idea from and why he plays the players that he does.
Yeah, I think that was also a criticism of Frank Lampard as well, that Chelsea were playing really poorly. We were losing so many games, but the starting 11 really wasn't changing, and you had a lot of players on the fringes. Apparently there was a lot of upset in the dressing room as well because they didn't know where they stood, and that's something that I really like about Thomas Tuchel, bringing it kind of back to Chelsea a little bit, is that it seems that his man management is superb, and if somebody's not playing, they kind of know why. If they get minutes, they're going to try to take advantage. And somebody like Ben Chilwell, who hasn't been playing at all, we saw him just make an 8-minute cameo. But I really do have confidence in Thomas Tuchel that he's going to keep the squad happy. So, random question for you: who do you think is going to score more goals between Lukaku and Ronaldo? I think you kind of already hinted at it, but maybe give us a number.
Are both going to be in the 20s at least. That's a given. Lukaku will definitely get 25 goals this season. I think he'll be in the top 5. I think they'll both outscore Harry Kane. That's what I think. I think Harry Kane's days are done. Now he's got Nuno in there. I do think that in the Premier League, let's not talk about this Tim Pot trophy that Tottenham are playing in. tomorrow and count them goals against amateurs. So let's just look at it on a Premier League basis. I do feel like I will go as far as to say, unless there is a drastic injury for either one, that Ronaldo and Lukaku will be 1 and 2 this season. And I think Ronaldo will pip him again like he has done in Italy.
I gotta back Lukaku on this, obviously, because
Yeah.
I'm a Chelsea fan, but also because I think that Chelsea have a really strong attack and that it's a little bit disjointed right now. That's kind of to be expected, but it's going to
Yeah.
get better in the future, and they're going to have time to play together and they're going to gain chemistry. So just one final question. I kind of just wanted to do a check in with you, and then we can kind of compare it a few months down the line. But right now, who do you think is going to be the top 4 in the order, and who do you think is going to be in the final of the Champions League?
Well, City and Liverpool are both winning right now. Paris Saint-Germain are not. But I think, let's do Champions League first then. I feel like Champions League, it all depends on the draw. I think there'll be 3 Premier League teams in the semi-final. I do feel like it will be Chelsea, Liverpool, and City in the semi-final. United will surprise me if they get past the quarter-final stage because of that mentality issue, unless something drastically changes. But going off what I've seen, I'm just judging that off what I've seen so far. It just looks like the other bigger teams in the Premier League have got a little bit more about them and a bit more settled right now. Premier League, it is the toughest one. I do feel like there's a run for United coming at some point, which will get everyone excited. But going off again, so far, I haven't been impressed with United apart from the opening day. So I will go at this moment in time in my head. I feel like it will be City, Chelsea, United, Liverpool.
City, Chelsea, United, Liverpool. Okay, in my prediction video that I put out before the season started, before Chelsea signed Lukaku, and obviously before United signed Ronaldo, I said City, Chelsea, Liverpool, United. But now I feel like Chelsea could give City a run for their money having Lukaku, but it really depends because we haven't been playing all that well recently. But I do think we will get there. But definitely been struggling against the teams in the low block. We definitely seem to play better against teams in the Champions League, the really big games. We always show up, but against a low block, it's definitely been more difficult for us. But Adam, I want to say thank you so much for joining. I'll let you go because you probably want to watch the games that are on now, and I want to keep this stream pretty chill, light for anybody that wants to go back and rewatch it. Guys, make sure to sub to Adam's channel. He just hit 20,000 subscribers, so massive congrats. That's awesome.
Cheers.
So cool.
Thanks, Elizabeth.
Any last minute thoughts that you have? I put your Twitter in the description box, and I was going to change the title to have your clickable app, but I forgot to do that, so I'll do that right now.
It's all right. It's no problem. Yeah, City have just gone 2-0 up, so I'm going to go and sulk for a bit. And that's against the team that knocked us out of the Champions League last year as well. So, yeah, it's been a bad week so far, but I've been travelling down to West Ham on Sunday. I think we're all waiting for a reaction. I'm really intrigued to see how we approach that game now after what we've just watched this week. So all eyes, I think, will be on that United game. And I don't know, Elizabeth. I don't know what to expect. I want to be shocked and I want to see a reaction. That's it.
Yeah, makes sense. I hope that you guys get the reaction that you want, but I also don't since I'm a Chelsea fan. But
True. Understandable.
Yeah.
Who Chelsea got this weekend, by the way? Who Chelsea playing?
At Tottenham.
Oh, that's a go.
Yeah.
Do you know what? That'll be a good one for you because there's a low block coming there for you guys with Nuno. So that will be a tester, and you know what? Ultimately, that will probably start your season off if you break that Spurs defense down. I mean, I know Palace did it at a whimper against 10 men, but Nuno and playing him so many times with United against Wolves, I know what he's going to do already. I already know his tactics. It's just catch you on the break and just put 10 men behind the ball. That's what you're going to get. I don't think. I think I'm guessing you'll have 60% of the possession, and there'll be hardly any shots. And I think it's whoever takes that chance.
Yeah, I mean, I feel that Chelsea can win this game, but it's just like the low block always kills us. It's always so difficult for us to break down. And we have so much squad depth, which is a blessing, but we also don't really know who's going to be starting this game. But
I know that feeling.
I'm hoping for the best. All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching, especially if you tuned in while football and Champions League football is on. We really appreciate it. Make sure to subscribe to Adam's channel, subscribe to my channel. We'll be doing this stream. We kind of alternate whose channel we do this on. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this and hope you enjoy the football. Until next time, we're out. Bye.